Welcome to another Tame Your Talent. I am Brad J., your host. From broadcasting to podcasting, I'm your guy. Thanks for being on board here with Tame Your Talent. All right, today we're going to talk about working long hours. This is a good one. I'll tell you, I don't care what you're doing. If you could be making speeches all day long, maybe you're hosting a 10-hour event where you're introducing bands all day long, whatever the case may be, sometimes you're going to work long hours. And I'll tell you right now, when I worked for the Greece Olympics back in 2004, our days were 14 to 16 hour long days. 4 different baseball games we would do in a day in Greece during the Olympics. When I did the Olympics in Vancouver in 2010, the hours, we'd have a show start at 1 o'clock for, let's say, a snowboard halfpipe competition. We would get there at 4:30 in the morning, and we would work till evening time. We would do seriously 16 hours, in some cases, almost 20 hours of work. Working long hours, big events are like that. So how do you prepare when you work for long hours? How do you do it? Now, if you're a clock puncher and you're going to your job's most likely 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. You know when your break is, you know when your lunch is, you know when you have to report to work, clock in, you know when you clock out. But when you're working long hours and you're a freelancer and you're doing announcing stuff, you got long hours. You're working long hours. You're not signing up to be a normal job like someone else. So you could have 14 hours and you don't get paid overtime for it. So how do you prepare to make yourself prepared for working those long hours? Let's talk about hunger. One of the things I like to do when I'm going to do an X Games, whether it's a winter X Games or a summer X Games, I like to make myself a nice, good-sized breakfast in the morning. Get myself not super full, but just enough that I know I'm comfortable. Now, the backpack. In my backpack, you can always you'll find snack bars, you'll find some fruit, you'll find some gum, you'll find some trash and garbage as well, but you'll also find ibuprofen. You think ibuprofen, aspirin, throat lozenges, right? Maybe even a little energy drink or something, whatever. I mean, I don't recommend drinking a ton of energy drinks. That's not going to help you out too much. But have something that'll get you through. So you're not working 6 hours into your show. You had breakfast, you had a good meal, you got snacks, but you're not going to get fed for another 2 more hours. That's 8 hours from your breakfast to the next time you're going to get fed, right? That's why you got to have the snacks. And maybe that's not the most, the greatest meal in the world that you could have at that point, but you know what it'll do? It'll get you through the long hours, and that's why you got to do it. The worst case scenario is people show up to work for announcing jobs, and they show up and they haven't eaten yet. And then they got to go and announce, and they're, but let me go get some breakfast first. And like, no, buddy, you're on the clock at this time. This is when you're supposed to do it. That's a quick way of not getting hired. No one wants to hire that guy. Oh yeah, he shows up. I tell him to be here at 10 o'clock. He shows up at 5 to 10 and goes, hey, I need to get some breakfast. Well, you start in 5 minutes, all right? An old boss of mine called it Lombardi time. And Coach Lombardi was a coach in football many years ago for the Green Bay Packers. And Lombardi time is this. If someone gives you a call time, let's say it's a 10 a.m. call time or an 8 a.m. call time, you need to be prepared and ready to go 10 minutes before that scheduled shift. That means sitting down in your announcer's chair with that mic in front of you, your notes taped and everything, 10 minutes before you even go live. Because there's nothing worse than being unprepared when you're trying to scramble through your stuff and get it all out there and be ready to go, and it's like you're going on in 30 seconds. I have to start webcasts that start on time, and you can't, if you're not prepared for that webcast to start right then they're not going to wait for you. You're going to go online, so you're going to go on live. So that's why you've got to be prepared for working long hours. You got to be there on Lombardi time 10 minutes before. Also, you want to have something to drink. Always have water. Do not count on someone having water for you. I can't tell you how many events I've done where there's not a bottled water inside anywhere, and you're thinking there's gonna be. Bring your own water bottle. Fill it up at your hotel, your house, or whatever you're doing before. Bring in a water bottle. Careful on the coffee. If you drink too much coffee, you can crash. So if you get all hyped up and you show up in there, I'm ready to go at 8 a.m., then at 11 or 12 you're crashing and you need more. So that's probably not the way to do it as well. So you don't want to be sleepy and just like that. You want to get through it. You want to have the energy. All right. Now, this is kind of funny. Bathroom. You're saying, okay, bathroom, why is that important? Why is a bathroom important in announcing? It is very important in announcing. If you're working long hours and you can't get to a bathroom in time and get back to your seat, then you're not going to be able to deliver that show. So what you do, you suss out where the closest bathroom is when you get to that job. Even if you're there the day before touring the facility, you should know in your head, I'm announcing in that tower up there, the bathroom's over there, I'll need about 2 minutes to get to and from that bathroom. You need to know that. And if the bathroom's far away, don't complain, because everybody's in the same boat. Maybe not in the same boat as the announcer who only has a 2-minute break to run and use the bathroom, but that's important to know. And that's why it's a tough thing when it comes to if you're announcing in the mountains, like you're doing snowboarding or skiing events. Elevation, you want to drink water because you're in elevation, you don't want to get elevation sickness, but it's a fine line. You don't want to drink too much water because you don't want to have to use the bathroom if it's far away and there's no built-in breaks. If you have a job that, you work for 2 hours and you have a half hour off, that's no problem. But doing Olympic Games, I can't tell you, in the 4 Olympics that I've worked, the bathrooms are not very close and you have a lot of work and you're there for many hours and it's hard to get there. Now, why do I tell you to eat before you come to work? Well, that's so you don't eat when you're at work. Does that make sense? How many people are annoyed by the guy in the airport who's there an hour and a half before he flies, right? He's there an hour and a half at the gate waiting for his plane. He goes and buys himself a big old plate of garlic fries or a garlic pizza, okay? He buys that for himself. And he goes back and he sits down. And he's sitting down, the plane's not even boarding for a half hour. He's not eating his food, right? He's not eating his food. He's waiting till he gets on the plane to eat the food next to you, so you have to endure the smell of the garlic pizza or the garlic french fries. And I love garlic fries. Just don't even get me started there. Isn't that annoying? Especially when they make the seats on the airplane so small and there's no room and you're basically laying in his meal that he's eating in front of you. Nothing worse than that. And there's also nothing worse than eating while you're announcing. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with professional announcers who, when all of a sudden we're about ready to start the finals of the competition that people have been waiting all day for this to happen, they'd find time. There's time now to eat dinner while I'm on the mic. I mean, you can't do that. You got to eat when you're not on the mic. It shows in the show. You can hear the chomping. You're not tight on the mic. You don't eat during the event. You try to eat before or you eat when there's a break. That's the way to do it. It's nothing more annoying than that. And the thing is, people, I don't even know why they can keep their job after that. I've worked with so many people that still have the same job, but yet every time we come to the finals, they got a plate of food in front of them and they're gravy, mashed potatoes. Hey, woo, it's got some soup here. Hey, did you see it? It's lemon cake. I love lemon cake. Me too. You don't eat when you're working the long hours. So that's what I mean when I talk about long hours. I'm Brad J for Tame Your Talent, tameyourtalent.com, and Tame Your Talent on social media. And also always be sure to send me an email. Love to hear from you. tameyourtalent@gmail.com. Tame Your Talent. Working those long hours. Woo!